Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Unphazed Podcast, the number one motivational show in the world where we do our best to show you how we stay unfazed in this world that will definitely try to phase you. You know, I'm here, your unfazed sensei and chief motivator, Phazon McClurge. You know, we always got real men to deal here, but we got a very special episode today. I say that about every episode, but this one is going to be big. This one's definitely going to be big. This is an episode that's sure to elevate your game and mindset.
Come on.
Today, we're diving deep with someone who is an elite performance guru, an architect at Sports Academy, one of the greatest performance facilities in the country, probably the world. He's the secret weapon behind countless NFL, NBA, MO, every pro league you could think of, transforming their potential into peak performance. I've personally experienced his unmatched expertise during my NFL Pro Day prep, and a lot of guys have. And I can tell you, Bmac is in a league of his own. He's not just a trainer, he's a visionary, he's a game changer, an amazing human being. Tune in and get ready to redefine your limits today. You got to be able to stretch your mind on this episode today. I hope you guys are locked in. We got Mr. Bmac coming to us live today. Let's do it, man.
I'm unfazed, I'm unfazed, yeah, I'm unfazed. I'm unfazed, yeah, I'm unfazed. I'm unfazed, yeah, finna stack this paper. I'm unfazed, yeah, finna stack this paper. I'm unfazed.
We'll cut you off a little bit.
Money.
Bmac came in with his intro. He said, "What's up, everybody?
Yo,
What's
what's
going
going
on?"
on?
Oh my
Man, I
God.
appreciate that, Phase. That's a great intro, man. I appreciate that. That's love, y'all.
No, definitely. And
He
I
tends to
think,
do that very well.
Yeah.
yeah, and I think with the intros too is like, because I watch a lot of podcasts, especially being in this space, like you want to exaggerate, you want to make it good, you want to like spice it up a little bit, but that's those every single word I said is true,
Mm,
especially because the impact that you had on me and my football career. Because especially being at Cornell, when I was at Cornell, it's like,
yeah.
okay, I'm playing football, I'm just playing, I'm not going to down anything at Cornell, but it's like we don't have the best like training or everything like that. But then when I came to it was Michael Johnson performance at the time, and I
Yeah.
trained with you. That was the first time that I had tapped into like, oh yeah, no, I was thought I was working hard, but no, this is the real work that
Turned
it
up.
takes in
That's
order
right.
to get to that next level. So I definitely
That's right.
appreciate you, man.
Man, I love hearing stuff like that when you say words like impact, and that's kind of some of the motivation behind someone like me that wants to continue to do this for 20 plus years is to continue to have impact on the new generation, the new players, and also to the
Mhm.
coaches. I want it to mean
Yes.
something. I want you guys to be able to have come into me and make a difference in your
Mm.
performance, make a difference
Yes.
in your protection, and then have
Uh-huh.
that carry over in something that's memorable. So I appreciate that word impact. That's what I always
100%.
want to do.
He's definitely VMAC. I would say is probably definitely one of the pieces to the puzzle.
Mm,
He's definitely if he's in the system or if he's in the formula, it's
mm.
going to be successful. And I know that not only off of experience, but also off of just what your resume says. I didn't get to unfortunately work with you at MJP, but I was fortunate enough to work with you many a times at Sports Academy. Both are successful and thriving facilities that a lot of great athletes have come through. So
Yeah.
it's almost like it's safe to say you're doing something right, B Mac. You know what I'm saying? It can't be nothing wrong about the process in which you instill in these players.
That's what I'm saying. So, like when you have this much consistency, I think you start to
Mm.
replicate this formula over and over. You start to validate your
Yes.
principles, your process, it's repeatable. We put people
Yes.
into our system, into our formula, like you talked about, and then
Hmm.
the production almost is the same every time.
Mhm.
And that's the expectation for me is always like what you heard about someone like me at this level. I want to be able to live up to that every single time.
Yes.
And for me, I never cared if it was like a Rashawn Gary, $100 million contract, Pro Bowl or whatever, or was that 10-year-old kid that just wants to play football at the Pee Wee
And that's
level.
and that's huge.
Big.
It
I
never
think
mattered.
I
It
do think
never
that is a
mattered.
big. I
Yeah.
think for me, from what I've seen, especially being in pro ball, I think you do see a lot of that, and it is sad sometimes where you
Yeah.
get trainers or you get different people that they decipher the type of
Mhm.
energy that they're going to give to one player based on this player. If he's an NFL guy, I can do this and I can get a little clout, get
That's
some
right.
Instagram from him. But
Yep.
that 10-year-old or that other guy who's maybe playing like us that was in the IFL, and you're not in the NFL, so
Come on.
whatever, you know what I mean? So I think that's a
Yep.
huge point that a lot of trainers, anybody that is trying to train or coach anything, that's a huge point right there.
Come on. If you're a professional coach, you're professional every time you step on the floor. It don't matter. You
Every
deliver
single
the
time.
exact same service every single time.
I
And
love
that's
that.
kind of the things I try to distill into my coaches
Hmm.
just by my actions. Sometimes I don't say you got to do that, but just go watch me coach this session. And it might be an elementary school session, it might be a middle school session, high school, or it could
Yeah.
be NFL. It's going to look the
Either
exact same every time.
either way, they
Like
gonna
you said
work.
too, he
They're going,
gonna
yeah,
give
they're
you
going
the best him, whether you got state of the art equipment or like he was just telling us before the episode, whether they in the field, limited service, you're going to get that work. You gonna
Yep.
get it every time, and he's gonna improve you because of it. So this is a man who stands by, you know what I'm saying, and definitely a representation of the product. I know you're all this is based upon experience too. This is not like
Yep.
this is something I know you have a very historic and in-depth background when it comes to your sports abilities
Mhm.
and what you've done prior to. So
Hmm. Yeah, and I
That's right.
definitely want to talk about too, like where did it all start for you? Where did the
Right.
sports journey and that endeavor begin?
Yeah, I think it for me it was as a high school athlete. You know, I started
Hmm.
out, I got injured in high school. And I
Mm.
think at that moment, right there as a freshman, I kept battling through knee injuries. And by the time I graduated, I already had three knee surgeries. My last one was a total knee replacement at the
Wow.
age of 16 years old. So I think at that moment, that's what began the journey, the motivation. And so,
Hmm.
like, it's hard to replicate that in somebody else unless you've gone through that experience. And so I
Yes.
have a very unique experience where it's like that's painful to be able to lose your career that young, and you're aspiring to be at a higher level. And so that's inside of me every time I go out to the training floor. And like
Hmm.
I can't allow this to happen to somebody else. I don't want somebody else to feel the way I felt to lose their career.
Hmm.
And so when I'm
Hmm.
coaching you guys out there, man, I'm really like trying to coach myself in high school. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? Like I'm trying to make sure that this don't ever happen to somebody. They don't feel the way I felt. And that's where that passion sort of exudes out of me. And I'm able to
Hmm.
continue to do it every single time. And what I did was
Hmm.
I just took that to the college setting. I started out as at SMU. I was an intern at SMU, and I was able to
Nice.
become a graduate
yeah,
assistant. And
okay,
then I moved up to a full-time assistant. And then within less than 2 years, I was the head strength coach at
Mhm.
SMU as an interim.
Wow.
Yeah, so I
Wow.
went from not knowing nothing, just trying to get a grade. I'm just an intern.
Hmm. Yeah.
So that was 1999. By '01, I was the interim head guy. I had no idea what I was doing. I was not
Yeah.
ready for that job, but the head strength coach, he left, and I had the opportunity because I had the certification, I had the education, I had the motivation. And
Hmm.
so they said, "Why don't you go ahead and run this?" And I did that for about 3 months. And then the head guy that had left SMU went to Florida State, created a position for me to go to Florida State. This was back in '01. So
Hmm.
that was the
decades
real,
been doing
yeah.
it.
You know what I mean? So they had been 14 straight years of top five finishes. They just went to the national championship and lost to Oklahoma. And so I was around. I went from SMU to Florida State. You talking about some
Yeah.
different type of players, different
Yeah.
mentality. I was with Bobby Bowden and those guys, and so I learned how to be a coach at a high level. I
Hmm.
was able to. One of my all star players was Anquan Bolden, and
Okay.
so when I
Dog.
watched him and the way he operated, I started to learn what high performance mentality was. I'd never seen it before. I'd never seen someone operate at that level with that level of determination, that dog in them. And
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, that's what that looks like. And so once I saw it there, I was able to see if anyone else had that same sort of mentality, and I could just compare and contrast basically what I
Yeah.
seen before and say if this guy matches up, is he better, or does he have some of those? Is he lacking? So that gave me the model to understand
Hmm.
what the expectation is of a real dog type athlete. Um,
Yeah.
I like
After
dog.
that, I got into the private sector in 2003, and I've been in the private sector ever since.
Wow.
Hmm.
Wow.
What
That's
would you
awesome.
say in that basically resume you just shared with us? What
Yeah.
would you say, if anything? What I know there were setbacks along the way. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying, but what were you would say your defining challenging moments? Were there ever any moments where you felt like, am I in the wrong field? Like, did you ever
Yeah.
have any self doubts
100%.
at any moments? Like,
Yeah. 100%. I tell you what, the biggest thing was because right as the private sector of sports performance started coming about was around the 1999, 2000. Everyone
Okay.
was in either high school, college, or pro. There wasn't any real sports performance training like you see today where they're everywhere. And
Man.
so to take
Mm-hmm.
that leap to get out of college and to go into performance training, which nobody knew what that really was, and working with a bigger spectrum of population with young kids, high school kids, college and pro, I was nervous. And so I was like, man, my dream was to be a head strength coach one day. And so I got an offer to be the director of sports performance, had a good pay. I was raising my family, had a young family. So I went with it and just took that leap of faith. And it's the best decision I ever made because it expanded my horizons. It gave me the ability to take a 10-year-old and develop
Mm.
him all the way to get to a college scholarship.
Yes,
Some of
that's
these kids that
huge.
I trained in high school, they came back and became pros. I'm training them now as NFL guys. And
Mm-hmm.
so just being in college, I would have never had that. It would just been a loop. It just been
Yeah.
college, 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 college,
Couple
college like
years,
that.
they
So
gone.
yeah, so I took that leap of faith, man. It was the best thing to expand my abilities and my spectrum of knowledge.
That's awesome. That's huge. And I
Mm,
want to ask you, as far as like in the training space, I know you said you learned a lot just from Anquan Bolden's like
yep,
work ethic and things like that. But have you had any mentors in the training space, or who
100%.
have you learned the most from, like
Yeah.
growing to one of the top trainers?
Yeah. So the person that put me in this, I came out of nowhere. I was just an intern looking for get my intern hours, 400 hours. There's a
Mm-hmm.
guy by the name of John Jost. And if you look at where his coaching tree comes from, it comes from Nebraska Huskers program. So
Okay.
Husker
Oh,
Power. And so if you look
Mm-hmm.
at what Husker Power represents to the college strength conditioning world, it's the foundation of it. They started collegiate strength conditioning.
hmm,
Mm,
Boyd Epley started the National Strength Conditioning Association. So I'm part of the foundation of the whole thing through John Jost. And
mm-hmm.
so I'm just lucky that I was able to latch into his network and his cohort of people and experience. And he gave me a chance. I was
Wow.
nobody. I didn't play college football. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I had no experience training people, nothing. He just said, I see something in this guy that I think he could be something special one day. And he gave me a chance as an intern to jump on his team. And then he created a position for me to go to Florida State. Without those two moves, without him giving me the opportunity, I'm not here today. There's no way.
the beautiful thing too,
Wow.
B, is you just and I haven't met this gentleman you speak of,
Yep.
but just watching you in the realm of what you work, you can tell he's rubbed off significantly on you. I've
100%.
watched you even with, you know what I'm saying, like Scott. Scott was like one of the
Yep.
first guys to train me when I first got to Sports
That's
Academy.
right.
How you treat Ursula and everybody else who interns
Yep.
and come through there, very much what you just,
That's it.
shared is
Yep.
definitely the way you have. It's almost like through his teachings, they're
That's
passing
right.
down through you to them. So you love to know that there's consistently great coaching that's
That's right.
going to
Mm-hmm.
be ready for our future trainers
That's
to
right.
instill into these future athletes. So I mean,
Man, that's so
beautiful
right.
what you're doing.
Because somebody gave me a chance. And so without
Mm-hmm.
that chance, I would never be where I was at. And I would tell you the second sort of incidents where I was able to level up was at Michael John's performance.
Mm-hmm.
And so it wasn't then, I'm just a trainer amongst a bunch of trainers. But then when
Yep.
you get on that MJP platform, it elevates you. Now you're on the big
Mm-hmm.
stage. You're getting some of these top guys. I mean, I trained Devontae Adams coming out of college out of Fresno State. I
Mm-hmm.
don't get that opportunity without being associated with Michael Johnson and Lance Walker at that facility.
Yes.
And so we did that. Well, shoot, that was like '07, '08, '09, somewhere in there. So we started doing those
Mm-hmm.
things. But that gave me learning ground to start to work with the elite of the elite and start getting into the combine training. And so they gave me another opportunity to level up. And then one day they said, it's your show now. And
Mm-hmm.
so in 2014, that's when I became, the guy running the MJP combine program.
Yeah, and
And the
what do you
rest is history.
and what do you think it is that like because I see that you're leveling up
Yep.
during that time. What do you think it is that kind of separates like some of those trainers who are like that top level trainer like you
Yep.
are and the trainers who are kind of like more average? Or what is it that leap that
Yeah.
you had to take and where
That's
did
right.
you have to grow in order to get to that point?
You're never satisfied. That's what it
Mm,
is. You're never satisfied. You go in there in 2014, had a really good year. There's some things that I go back and reflect on. I was like, man, I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have did that. I go back, I hit the books. I read books I already read before. And so I go
yeah.
back and just continue to refine and get better. And then the next year, 2015, we start to do a little bit better. 2016, 2017, we start breaking records. We
Mm,
start becoming a household name. We have like Shaquem and Shaquille Griffin came out running
yep.
4.38, and then it's trending topics. Like we just start having all this compounding success. But at the end of the day, I went back and I was like, man, I want more than that. And so that was good, but how can I get better? So I would start to hire consultants. I would hire researchers, like a guy by the name of Dr. Peter Wan. I brought
Mhm.
him in to educate us, to get us better.
Mm,
Ken Clark, another guy that's in the research and clinical world, I hired him in. I brought people from the college world to talk to our staff, tell us how to
Mhm.
coach better. I brought in a guy by the name of David Stoddard, is a specialist in motor control, motor behavior. So every
Mhm.
year we started to bring in people that were outside of our ecosystem to teach us. And then what you saw was that program just grow and evolve every year. It never stayed the same.
yes,
And
Mm.
sir.
so we got better and better every single year. And so all the great ones are always, they're never satisfied. They just continue to drive and they
Yeah.
get better and better. And that's how you evolve. And so I'm looking for those qualities in all my young coaches.
Yeah, and so
Mhm.
you would that's kind of like that's a huge thing because on a I think was it yesterday? No, it was 2 days ago. We had a mindset coach. Her name was
Mm.
Yeah.
Alexis Wilson, and one of the things that she said was like we were asking her about like the ultra successful people, and
Yep.
that because she works with a lot of them, and one thing that she was saying that. Yeah, they continually invest in themselves, whether
Yes.
it's money into themselves, it's bringing people around them, whether it's into their mind, body, spirit, and
Mm.
researching. So I think that's huge like to
Yep.
any trainers or really anybody. Because even on the athlete side, I want to
That's right.
ask you as well because you listing top names that you work with. Devontae Adams, probably one of the best receivers of all time.
All the
But it's
time.
like you are working with all these players, and every player is different.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But they all kind of have to have something in a
That's
different
right.
way. So what would you say it takes? Like, because there's probably gonna be a lot of kids that see this, or
Yep.
anybody, or even for me, seeing people that are like peak performers, like
Yep.
Devontae Adams. What does it take to be a pro athlete? And
Yep.
even further than that, to sustain a career. You talked about
Oh.
Rashawn Gary. What does it take to even sustain that career as a professional?
Mm-hmm.
They all have sort of the same qualities at the end of the day, and it's like these microscopic qualities that are transient regardless of position, even regardless of industry. Like successful people, one thing I've always seen is they've got this incredible internal drive where it's
Mm,
just like they've got something to prove. Something happened in young life or adulthood, or something happened where they've got this chip on their shoulder, and they always have something to prove every single day, and it never dies, it never burns out. They have
mm,
this sort of attitude that's sort of unwavering, where it's like if something bad happens, it don't matter. Brush your shoulder off, wipe the sweat off. It's like that plays over with, and I'm gonna continue to be positive and continue to strive. There's a certain attitude. I think they're also too very consistent in their discipline.
yes.
They have routines. They have like these sort of processes, and the
Mm-hmm.
processes lead to their performance. It's not the other way around. The process leads to performance, and they continue to do the same process every single day, and then they have the same repeatable performance. So I
Hmm.
think those are like three things I've seen that is sort of like across the board. They all have.
Yes, sir. With just that alone, with what they bring to the table, and you have your coaches now getting these athletes are prepared and ready to start developing and becoming better. There are certain elements of things that I know that you guys have seen, that you've tried, things that have probably been successful over the years, and things that have not been. But in your own opinion, what's a overlooked component of athletic performance in today, um, that is consistently overlooked, and how are you helping change the narrative to make sure that this whatever this component is being
Yeah.
implemented on a daily?
Yeah, I think we figured out how to train guys. We figured out speed, power, strength. We got all that stuff. What we're still in the infancy is with the recovery. How do
Mm,
you get people to recover better? Because it used to be like, oh, they're overtraining, but now the vernacular is they're under recovering. You
Mm,
mm.
can continue to train really, really hard,
Yeah.
but can you recover just as hard so that we can keep
Hmm.
pushing that pendulum up? And
love
so I
it.
think now we're trying to explore like what type of recovery for what type of training session, for what type of goal, what type of part of the season are you in? There's different recovery strategies. And that's nutrition, that's mental recovery, and that's the physical
Yes.
recovery. And now they're taking it down to how do we recover the cell, not just the tissue, the massage and
Mm.
stuff like that, the tissue, but what can we do to get
Wow.
the cell to recover better that leads to the tissue, that leads to the organ, that leads to the human. So we're looking in those type of microscopic areas now, and I think in the next 10 years, we'll figure out that there's going to be people that specialize, like we
Mhm.
speed trainers and just in recovery, just in
Mm.
human regeneration,
Gotta have that.
for the whole thing. And I think you're going to see these people be able to bounce back and be able to add more training
The
because
Yeah.
they're
beautiful
recovering better.
So the beautiful thing now is too, you speak about how you guys are moving that direction, but Sports Academy has done an awesome job
Yep.
just alone, you know what I'm saying, to toot y'all own horn a little bit. You guys got like infrared, you know
Yep.
what I'm saying, saunas when it comes to the lights.
Love
Y'all
Yep.
that.
have the hyperbaric chambers.
That's right.
First and foremost, and this ain't me gassing, Sports Academy had to have had one of the coldest cold tubs. That is a cold tub you gotta be mentally tough for. I'm talking
You
about
know
you
what I
You
mean?
fighting
do.
that cold tub,
Yeah.
getting in there, you know what I'm saying? So
We're not sure if
I,
that's scientifically validated yet on that cold tub. It might have been
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, that
man,
one
I'm
might have been a
talking
little bit
about
too
Nobody
much.
wanted to get in
pins
it.
and
Yeah,
needles.
exactly.
And then
I
I
y'all
mean, we
feel
got to
do
that.
turn up a
like
little bit now.
Yeah.
y'all definitely are sticklers for the recovery game. I remember
Got to have
having
it.
training sessions with yourself. Like, man, they didn't put us through one. And
Yep.
you're very big. Like he's not just saying this, guys. He is one who preaches what he's saying. Very big on, like, I remember you like, go get in. I think you were the first person to ever put me on
Yep.
the hot cold
That's
kind
right.
of like,
Yep.
and it's almost,
The
it feels like pins and
contrast.
needles.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. He's
Yep.
like, you gotta do two in there, one in there, and I'm
That's
like,
right. That's
and
it.
it really is a game changer for sure.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
recovery
I
big.
think, yeah, we're going to get so much better there. I think we're just trying to figure it out a little bit. We need some more validation of some of the methods that we're trying to do.
Hmm.
I would like for us to have like scripted protocol. Like when I go out there and I
Yes.
train you guys, I know what I'm going to do that day. I'm going to
Hmm.
have 3x40 of the 40-yard dash. I'm going to do some 5-10-5. I'm going to do some curve runs. Like it's all scripted. I would love to be able to see one day where individualized recovery program for each athlete based on their
Mhm.
goal. So you go in
Yes.
there, like you guys may be doing different recovery based on what your goals are, based on what the session
Exactly.
was, and it's scripted out, it's planned. And we
With the
know,
Yeah.
like,
weight.
yeah, you need 30 minutes because, like sometimes you have a heavier body. They need to sit in the cold tub a little bit longer because they're more
Facts.
insulated, right? But guys like
Hmm.
y'all leaner, y'all don't need to sit in there for long. You're going to
Hmm.
get colder faster than the offensive lineman. And so I'd like to see it where it's not a one size fits all sort of method that goes in there, but it's more specific and it's more personalized.
I
Yeah.
said
And
the
I
way
want to,
AI is, I know it's
yeah,
coming. It's
that's
coming.
definitely coming. And I definitely want to talk about that too. Just like,
Mm.
I know every athlete is different and they need different things. So, like you talking about building out the recovery, like when you go out there on the field, you know exactly what you're going to do. I want
Mhm.
to talk to like in the deeper on the actual training side. So the people that actually go to school for this, get certified to do this and things like that. What is the framework that you kind of
Yeah.
use when you're attacking like a specific athlete or like even athletes in general? Is there like a
Mhm.
something like, okay, these type of athletes need speed, we're going to focus on
Yep.
speed, power, this? Or is there like kind of like a general framework that you use that has been tested and that you like to use?
It's a little combination. So we have a framework. We know there's elements of athleticism. So you got like speed, you've got agility, you've got their
Yes.
stamina, strength, skill. So you have those things or core components. Every athlete needs some of those, but it's in different dosages. So if I'm a,
Hmm.
a tennis player, I don't really need to be doing a lot of top end velocity work because the
Hmm.
dimensions of the game is a little bit different. So they're going to be working on more acceleration, decel, stop, change direction. So you got to
Got
dose
it.
that in. So 65% of your work has got to be that. You may do some long speed stuff just to balance them back out. So they're not
Yeah.
always doing these repeatable movements because you have
Hmm.
this thing called repetitive strain injury. That means I've been doing the same pattern over and over. I'm going to start to injure myself because I'm wearing
Oh,
down.
wow. Okay.
So you got to train them in a general nature in certain times periods, and then you
Hmm.
got to be more specific in others. And so, but the qualities of athleticism are pretty much universal. It's just the dosages. Um, I think if you look at that, we talk about the physical ones, and you have the mental ones too. And I think
Mm.
this is another area of opportunity for performance centers is can we get some mental conditioning? Can we get
Yeah.
some mental
Hmm.
training and couple
Hmm.
that with the physical? One of the
Hmm.
groups that's done it the best for over 40, 50 years has been IMG.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I think he,
IMG, IMG big
no,
time for sure.
ING's big time. I think he popped off for a second, but while he's off, we gotta
Gotta
give
make that
love, gotta
money.
get love to the
This
people.
special episode of Unphazed Podcast is brought to you by Blaze Pizza.
At Blaze, you can get your own personal customized pizza with endless pizzabilities.
You want keto?
Blaze gotcha.
You want vegan?
Blaze gotcha.
You want that gluten free?
Blaze most definitely gotcha.
Or you want that meat on top of meat on top of meat?
Hold on, bro. Hold on. Cut that.
What?
Blaze gotcha.
Hi. Get a special deal when you tell them Unfazed sent you. Enjoy delicious fast fire Blaze pizza and much more.
Unfazed deal, only good at these varying locations. Well,
Unfazed.
Perfect.
And
But
he was
yeah, I'm
having
gonna
some
say, yeah, just to kind
technical
of,
difficulties, but I
yeah,
think, yeah, as he was talking about as far as like IMG and things like that, I'll let him finish that when he gets back. But for anybody listening, I think it is super, super huge, everything that he's saying, because, and I asked that question just because as far as an athlete, you don't really ever know. As an athlete, you're going in there and you're working, you kind of just get the script and you do the script. But I think it's cool to see somebody in that different profession that's the builder of that script and the reason why they're doing that. So I think that's pretty huge.
yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead. Bmac, there we go,
I
bro.
say, yeah,
Yo,
just to recap, kind of like what he's getting on too. You know what I'm saying? Like you're saying, Phase. It's big to see how he's sharing the mental perspective as well as the recovery perspective. Yes, he can come
Hmm.
on here and talk all day long, just training and what he's done to accelerate the athlete, but his attention to details, his attention to his athletes understanding that they need more than just, hey, this is the tool I'm going to give you to get faster.
Hmm.
Not realizing, hey, no, it starts here, then it goes into your body, then it goes into the recovery portion. So
that's
to
right.
have the holistic overlook of it is beautiful too.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And what were you saying about IMG on the mental part?
Yeah, so they do a really good job of just coupling it all together. So the
Hmm.
physical and the mental, I would love
Yeah.
to be able to see us learn from that model and be able to have an offering of that. We do a
Hmm.
great job with our combine program where it's all coupled together. They're
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
getting mental conditioning, they're getting coping strategies, they're getting interview prep, they're getting polishment, but they're also getting their physical and their skills. I'd like to see that as a comprehensive program for all levels. Why
Mm.
can't our young kids be able to experience that if they want to? If they want to
Yeah.
upgrade their package and teach them at a young age how to think through stressful moments.
Facts.
Bad
Yeah.
play happens. How do you cope with that? You know, instead of you just trying to figure that out, how about have some formalized strategies, some methods of how to overcome?
So
Because
you're saying
respectfully,
even like, yeah, go ahead,
I
E.
would say, yeah, respectfully for me too, what he's saying is big because it all starts up top. It starts mental. I know for me, having the confidence and the belief in not only my what the work I put in, but knowing how to handle the training, knowing how to handle the plays, and primarily just I feel like a lot of time too, walking up to the 40 yard, because I know speed was a big thing for me. Walking up to the 40 just to
Yeah,
start, it starts mental first,
that's right.
knowing that you're in the proper positioning, knowing that you're
That's
comfortable,
right.
knowing that, you know what I'm saying, you're going to run a good time and not
Hmm.
getting up in there and because when you're at the line, like it's time to go. Like you know what I'm saying,
That's right.
if the gun's gonna fire, you got to get out of there. So when you're at the line to try to figure out in your head now, are you distracted by the cloud of thoughts? Did I prepare hard enough? Am I in the right? Like you
True.
don't want to be stuck thinking that stuff. So everything does start up here first. That trickles into your preparation, knowing that you're doing it right.
And see, that's confidence right there. So confidence to me, the way I define it is where here's the challenge ahead of you, and then here's where you feel like your abilities are. And if they match up, you're at that flow state. You meet it. When this
Hmm.
challenge is higher than where you think that your ability is at, that's when you're not confident and it's
Mm-hmm.
misaligned. And so that's when you do have those doubts. Have I done enough? Have I prepared? But you want your athletes to be able to have that mental fortitude to say, I am prepared. Here's the challenge. I meet it. Or even overcome, I exceed it.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
That's when I level up truly.
even going back to like what we were talking about a little bit before we got on camera is like when I was training, when I was at Cornell and I didn't really have that experience, and then I came and I trained with you. I thought that was so key what you just said, because that's what I felt. That was the best season I've had
Yep.
in my life, and that's the season that really propelled me to get the
That's
opportunity to
right.
play with the Michigan Panthers now. Because for most
That's
people that
right.
don't know, I was a DB, like I
Yeah.
played
Actually.
corner.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, but
Yep.
I really wanted to play receiver, and that was my thing. So, training with you guys, that
Mm,
was the best my body has felt from the ground up
mm,
ever,
that's
and
great.
which gave me the confidence to go back out there and
Yep.
have the best season that I ever had, and
That's right.
allowed me to get the opportunities that I did after. So,
Wow.
and I guess that's what you're saying is like I was able to tap into that flow state quick.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's
was
right.
there
Yeah. You
quick.
knew. Yeah.
I knew.
You knew.
There's no
Hmm.
doubts. There's all
Hmm.
confidence because I
That's
had
right.
built the body and I had built the mental. I had seen it and I had put the repetitions in so much.
For sure.
That's right.
And
That's
and
great.
like one thing I'm curious, I know we started this off by, you know what I'm saying, you stating that this all started with you as a younger athlete, you in high school. You know what I'm saying? One thing I would like to know, because I know, like we said, we're talking mental now. You know what I'm saying? And we're talking when, for one, I would be anybody would be a fool to not realize that BMAC is not only a great sports performance coach, but he is a mentor of young men and women. You know what I'm saying? People do look up to you. What's one piece of advice you always give your younger athletes? What advice do you wish you received at a younger age that could kind of promote it or accelerate your game at the time, or just you as a person?
Yeah, I would say just don't be satisfied. Like I was saying earlier, don't be satisfied and think that you've arrived, or even some of the top kids are like number one ranked, top 10, 5 star. Don't be satisfied because you're about to get a level. You're about to level up, and there's going to be other kids that are just like you. So even when
Yes.
you're amongst some of the greatest performances and you're high level right there, don't be complacent.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be complacent. Just continue to work and work and work, and don't think that you've already arrived when you really haven't.
No, 100%. And I want to ask you too, B Mac, as far as like training wise, is there anything, and this is kind of funny because I know you see all these trainers nowadays too, like everyone's like social media is social media. Like I know
Yeah.
you've probably seen that video where it's like they be like, y'all be
Flow,
letting anybody train y'all
flow,
nowadays.
You
You're
flow.
know?
like, flow, 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 the shoulders and stuff.
Yeah.
But is there any like what would you say is like an unconventional thing or training thing that maybe the whole world hasn't caught on to yet that you do, or something that Sports Academy guy tries to implement maybe the world hasn't caught on to yet?
Yeah, I think it's our structure, man. So I think
Hmm.
traditionally most people do like a 4 day training split. They take Wednesday
Mm,
as your regeneration day. Wednesday, we're working. And so
hmm.
we're not foam rolling on Wednesday. We're pulling heavy sleds, as y'all know. And
Hmm.
so, like, we do a
Change it
five
on.
day, if you know it, we do a 5 day workout. And so now we just expanded to six, but it's we do 3 high intensity days and we do 2 low intensity days. So Monday we're doing long speed with some agility, acceleration, angular. On Tuesday we're doing a big circuit with some metabolic conditioning. Wednesday we'll come back hit the heavy sleds and we're doing change of direction. Thursday is like our low intensity day, but we're still going to do a metabolic circuit in. So it's lower intensity. There's no hitting on the ground with high impact. And then
Hmm.
Friday we're going to do short bursts, short change of direction. So we work out 5 days, but it's a high low format
Plan.
right there. And I haven't seen anyone sort of doing that type of structure
Yeah.
in our business yet. And so
And
people
like,
think we're crazy, man.
and
They
just to
think they, they think we're
toot your
crazy.
horn to just show
Yeah.
them that the blueprint is successful and working, as we talked about before the episode.
Yeah.
This
We've had
was one of the
yeah,
years
yeah.
this year, as you stated, where you guys have had 5 athletes go in the first round of the
Been
NFL draft
successful.
alone. So, first of all, I would love to see another training facility, and maybe there's one out there that can state that.
Yeah,
But it's just evident that you guys have a game plan
that's
and it
right.
is working. And so,
Yeah.
hey,
I remember there was one year Rashawn came back. He went to OTAs and came back and left. I was like, man, I don't know if you can just leave OTAs like that. He came back. I said, man, why you leave? He said, man, they only train 4 days. I train 5. I said, I hope I don't get in trouble for that. But
He
all
said,
right, here we go.
he's like, but let's work. He said, let's
Yeah,
do it
let's
though.
work. Let's get it done.
Yeah.
but a lot of people don't
Yeah.
understand work is recovery too.
It
Like, you
really
know what I'm saying?
is.
Like,
It really is. We just lower intensity that day. We're still gonna have a work day, but it's just lower intensity. It's not gonna be jumping. We're not gonna lift heavy weights. But you get some effort in, some metabolic work and sweat, all that kind of stuff.
and
So
on the topic of there being so many different training styles out there and trainers, I know there was a question here earlier in the comments. There's so many trainers out there. You know what
mm,
I'm saying? And how does one decipher a good one from a bad one? You know?
yeah. I think you should interview your trainers to understand what their philosophy is. Who have they trained before? Talk to some other players. That's really how you grow. Player to player talk, referral. I
Mhm.
think you gotta strain them out because there's a lot out there, and there's some really good ones and probably some that are not as good yet. So I think you gotta really do your due diligence, and it's your career. So like invest in who's going to be taking care of your body and make sure that that person knows, what they're doing, just by interviewing and doing your due diligence and asking around. So um,
Hmm.
yeah, I think you also don't want to go with a person that thinks they got it all figured out either. You kind
Mm,
of tell,
Somebody
go
who's
with
a little off
someone
the
that
road.
just don't have it all figured out and it's okay.
I like that
Uh,
one. I like that
you know
one.
what I mean?
You
Yep.
go.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
Mm,
It's
there's a lot
it's
of
mm,
that.
mm,
inevitable.
mm.
There's a lot
I
of that.
like
And
that
there's
one.
some guys, a couple years of training, but got it all figured out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Like, what are
still
you
don't have it
talking
figured
about?
out. I'm a
Yeah.
year 25,
And
26.
everything's
That's the beauty
changing.
of it.
Everything's
That's the beauty
changing
of it.
Everything changing
at a very rapid rate. The world is
quickly.
changing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you got to
So,
get information. And one of the things I think young trainers should do is go back and research the original stuff too.
Yes.
Because a lot of times we're seeing it, and it's just flash, it's just pieces.
hmm
But I would want to see the whole puzzle and go back to the beginning, go back and read about some of the, I talk about, velocity based training, which is everybody's doing bar speed and things like that. But look at
hmm
Dr. Mann, who came up with it. And
hmm
everybody's using the tier system and things like that, but they don't know who was the author of the tier system. Joe
yeah,
Ken, Big House. Go
yeah.
find out what his original thought, his original works were. Go look at everybody's talking about the high-low system. Well, who was coining that? Charlie Francis. So go back and look at some of the originals, get that foundational knowledge, and then build on that, you
And
know?
I think it's funny that you say that too, just because I think that's something that we probably touch on a good amount on this show, just
Mm,
because I feel like that's in every
yep,
profession
that's
or
right.
everything where it's like if you want to be great at something or you want to have some sort of success in here, you have to start from the
That's right.
beginning. Okay,
That's
where
right.
did this thing start? Let me
Come on.
study the greats. Let me study the people that's been doing it
Come on.
Foundation.
before. Let me understand every single
That's
aspect
right.
of this that's if you want to be great. Like if you can't tell me you want to be great, but you don't know who's been doing it, who the top guys, who the people that have been doing it before
Come
you.
on.
So I think that's a huge point
Yeah,
too.
take a
Go
deep dive.
back, take a
Yep,
deep
double
dive.
click on that thing. That's right.
Yeah, if you just try to
Hmm.
start
Yep,
and then just like go, okay, I know, but it's like, where's your
superficial.
foundation?
That's right.
Superficial,
Yep,
superficial,
superficial. Take a deep
superficial.
dive.
That's huge. And I think I wanted
Hmm.
to ask too, because like in my situation, right? Like I moved to Dallas, like I was telling you a few years ago, after I had went through the pro day training and everything with you, because I'm like, man, I love Dallas. It's a football a football
Yeah.
town. Everything, everybody's out here. I met you. I met so many great trainers and great people, but I want to, in my future, I see this in my future, bringing what you guys have to Chicago,
Yeah,
right?
Got
actually.
to.
Because,
Hmm.
and I know that it's like, it may be something like where how Chicago is built, like they don't
Yep,
put those type of facilities and stuff
yep,
like that. But
yep.
I know there's a way because in Chicago, you can't get that type of work, that type
That's
of
right.
facility, that type of training unless you go an hour out. Like
Yeah.
you have to go an hour out from Chicago or where I'm from. And I'm like, it's
Hmm.
inconvenient. So a lot of guys aren't going to do that. Like for
Yep,
me to get with a good quarterback, a lot of times, it's like I got to drive an hour and a half out
yep.
just to even get a good session in. I'm like, that's
That's right.
inconvenient. So having
Yeah.
some sort of facility with great trainers like you with that wisdom in Chicago, which is like in the city, I
Hmm.
think that's
That's
something
right.
I've always thought about for a long time because you don't get
Yeah.
that.
Well, because the athletes are there.
Yes.
The athletes are there, and at a young age, we just got to develop them. They just
Mm-hmm.
got to have exposure. You got to have exposure to high velocity sprinting, lifting at the
Yes.
right tempos and velocities and forms and things like that, and get exposure to agility, and then being
Yes.
around a cohort of people that are like you, that think like you, that want to progress like you. You
Mm-hmm.
get better by association with other people. They call it group dynamics. You're in a group of elite mindset, you're going to be elite.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get all them kids together, then that group starts to level up, and you see them D1, 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 and some of
Yes.
them
Yeah,
NFL,
yeah, because you have
pro.
very few of them. Like you have, I give a shout out to Win Performance out there. Like that,
Yeah,
that's a really good one out there. But it's still for me, it's a little deep, like
yeah,
to be able to get there. So in order to really develop the youth
yeah.
and everything, it's like you have to go to the right high school
That's
because we
right.
have really
Yeah.
big football high schools. I went to a big football high school, most state championships in
Mm,
Illinois. So it's like I went to that school. So it's like the trainer there, they were locked in on
yep,
velocity, they were locked in on
yep,
strength,
yep,
power, recovery, doing things like that. So I think that's huge. And that's something
yep.
that I feel like a lot of people could have access to that
Listen,
could make the city in
yeah.
itself more polished when it comes to
Come
sports
on,
and recovery and that
come on.
education too.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
All right, Bmac. So I want to do like I'm saying a quick take. I'm saying real quick for the trainers who are out there or just the people who wants to know what goes into a life of Bmac. Can you take us through a day as a sports performance director and trainer? what that day looks like from start to finish? Because I know it's work all day
Yeah,
long.
I think
yeah,
especially right now because it's NFL, you know what I mean? It's
boy.
busy now, so it's great
You
for
got to
you.
lock in. Yeah, you're going to have some long days, man. And the way that we coach is intensive, man. We're not just talking about it, we're showing it, we're yelling at them because I think like the inflection points of your voice and the way you deliver it, there's research on this. The muscles actually contract harder. So if I'm
Mhm.
giving you a go call or a hit call, you're going to move a little bit faster. And so your energy can be transferred to another human just by the way that you deliver it. And so that's the expectation, the way we coach a sports academy and the way I've always coached. And so my coaches really sort of mirror that energy, the way that we do it. So we start pretty early. We're
Yo,
going to get
y'all
up.
up early. I know that.
Yeah, that first group's going to be at 7 a.m. So we'll be out there at 6:30, just kind of setting up. Athletes are going to arrive around 6:45. We'll get to work at 7. You got 7 to 7:15 is going to be your dynamic prep. From there, we're going to go into power. So power for us lasts around 15 to 20 minutes. That's going to be all your reactive footwork, your balance drills, your hand-eye coordination, and your jump training. And then from there, we're going to do some sort of movement, speed, and agility. And so that's a pretty good segment of 30 minutes. We're always going to have a linear component and an agility component consolidated in the same day. We don't do anymore like a speed day, a linear speed day, and agility day. It's all in one day. Linear preps our agility. From there, they're going to take about a 10-minute break and get over to the facility and get into the weight room. The weight room typically lasts around 45 minutes. And then from there, they're going to do 30 minutes of the restore or regeneration or recovery program. That's your sauna day, your red light, your
Hmm.
compression, your contrast, your
Yeah.
nutrition. So all of that's packaged into a session. So you're talking about a 2.5, potentially 3-hour day on the morning. That's
Hmm.
one group.
That's I said. That's just the
That's one
first
That's one
group.
group.
group. Yeah, so you got to repeat that. A 7, a 9, and 11. That's football.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of break. Now we got to do the same thing for pro basketball. Pro basketball is
Uh-huh.
going to
Yeah.
come in midday around 1:30.
Hmm.
Take a little break. And then, like our younger trainers, I don't do this no more, but the late night. So now
Hmm.
about 4 o'clock until 8, you got the young kids that want to experience the same thing you did that
Right.
morning because they
Yeah.
saw it on IG. They said, "Oh yeah, I
Yep.
want that."
I
So they're
need
gonna
that.
come in, and as a coach, you got to bring the exact same energy again
You have
because they're
to.
coming in fresh. I
These
know
are
you're
your
tired.
future NFL athletes, your
Your
future pro
future,
ball players.
yeah, their future.
The
So they want to
future.
see what they saw on IG that morning. I want to see that same coach deliver the exact same style and the same methodology the same way.
And I think
So
it's
Hmm.
that's what
beautiful
makes it
too,
hard.
because just for me, for one, I was already a pro coming into the facility, but I know how impactful that is
Yep.
to be a younger athlete. And you're coming in the facility and you're watching these NFL athletes that you're watching play now.
Yep.
And it's for you, it almost fuels you like, dang, I'm training in the same place that Jamar Chase and them training in.
Yep.
Like and to let
Yeah.
them know,
Energized.
it almost solidifies like we
Yeah.
were in the right spot where we're
We
supposed to
here.
be. The
That's right.
parents are even like, okay, yeah, no, this
This is
has
the
to make
spot.
sense. This is
Yeah, I'm gonna
the
pay
if
for
they're
this.
coming
Where I
here,
sign
something
up at?
working.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Right.
Check
Let me
here.
get that. Let me get that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Let
yeah,
me
I
get
want
that.
that.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
Yeah,
That's it.
parents really are ready to invest in their kids a lot earlier
100%.
today. Like whatever it takes, they want their kids to be involved, and they are going to invest. And I think
Yep.
the parents, if for y'all trainers out there who don't realize it, we're not saying lock the parents in first, but if the parents aren't sold on it,
Mm-mm.
if they don't believe in you,
Mhm.
I guarantee you this: the kids
Yep.
is not following. You know what I'm saying
That's
over
right.
there just because you got somebody over there. So
Yep. That's right.
Hmm. And I
So,
think
so
even, yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead,
well, I
B
was gonna
Mac.
say that's one day.
That's
You gotta
one
do that.
day.
You gotta do that Monday.
oh, I
Yeah.
said he wasn't done yet. You gotta
Yeah,
run
yeah,
it
yeah.
back.
So that was Monday.
Yes.
Come back and do it again on Tuesday,
Come
It
back and
don't
do it
stop.
again.
The work don't stop.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So you got to deliver it every single
You
time,
don't get no days
You have
off.
to
Being
deliver.
off on
And I was
Sunday,
gonna
the
say you
Lord's
might
day.
have to trademark
like
your
a
hit
shirt.
calls.
Yeah.
We
You might
get
have
Actually,
to
we
you might have to trademark them because I know BMAC was notorious for the
you,
he notorious for that. That's stuck in
hey,
my head. Anytime
yeah.
I'm working out, I'm like, BMAC, where you at?
So the
Nah,
thing
for
is,
real.
so we read about that, and there's some research. Your inflection in your voice makes your
Hmm.
motor units contract harder. So
Hmm.
like, I'm not just doing that because I'm really a quiet dude. Like I'm
Hmm.
really just low key. But then when I get on the field, it's a
oh
different
it oh
person.
It's a
Yeah,
different.
it's a different
go.
dude. It's like click click. Like y'all click click, I click click.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna deliver that. So I know I'm trying to get that sharpness in there. So when you contract, you're gonna come out of there with fire.
100%. 100%. And I know one thing too, like we were talking about like the parents and everything and investing in the kids. But even for like some kids out there, right? Like that may not have like the parents may not have the money or the resource,
Yeah,
or say even for me, where like I was in Chicago, if I had never heard about, I think I seen MJP, honestly,
yeah,
just like you said, on Instagram. And I
that's
was like,
right.
okay, I gotta get that. You know what I mean? I gotta get that. But like
Yeah.
say if I didn't see that and I was just in Chicago and I didn't really have a facility, all I had was really a field and maybe some
Hmm.
equipment, what advice would you give to that person
Hmm.
on like what they should be doing, as
Yep.
far as I know we can't give them like a whole protocol whatever, but like on what they should be doing or what they should be working on, maybe even just to become a better athlete,
Yep.
get faster or things like that.
See, we think we have a perfect program for that with our digital platform. We
Okay.
think we
Mm,
can we can replicate what we do in the center
that's
with
huge.
video instruction, with a description, a guide of
That's
what to
huge.
do, when to do it, and then deliver it at a fair rate. And so now they can
That's
afford in
huge.
Chicago, in New York, to follow the Sports Academy program. What they saw on IG, they can do it at home.
Wow.
And so you have a digital training program, but then you also have this other one we're thinking about, a remote coaching where you have interaction with your coach.
Man,
Mm.
And so now
man.
I can interact through DM. I can also watch live on a session. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's two
Yeah.
models that we're looking at because we can't get to them all,
Hmm.
And so one of
Yeah.
the things that I'm trying to do is, I can only coach for so many more years. I'm trying to get our coaches developed to take this and carry it further than I ever did. And then also to digitize myself. And so now let's get it out and
Yes.
scale it to the nation, to the world, to the globe. That's the next thing for me, honestly.
That's beautiful. I'm about to say
Hmm.
that right there. First of all, I'm gonna have you, you know what I'm saying, in a second, where can we go get that? Because
Yep,
that's not something that I even knew about. So I'm
that's right.
glad that you was able to drop that gem, you know what I'm
Yep,
saying? And I'm so happy that y'all tapping into that because
yep,
you're right. At the end of the day, yes, there's gonna be a lot of great coaches to come, but everybody's not gonna be able to get it from yours
mm,
truly. So the fact that you're able to leave that blueprint, you know what I'm saying? And then like you
mm,
said, the same way you are one of the coaches that goes back and looks at the foundation of the beginning,
that's
you're
right.
going to be somebody's beginning. So to leave that
Mm,
foundation for somebody is going to be just
that's awesome.
phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
that's dope.
yep,
And that,
yep.
and that
That's the
also
move.
goes to what we're talking about too. Like the world itself is changing. Like
Changing.
that's going to be the bar. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
you're gonna have to have that, especially if you're trying to touch so many people.
That's
And
right.
because if a lot of people are out here just doing things for clicks and
Yep.
not really going diving deep, people are gonna figure that out. They want the best. How do I
Yes,
get the best? And then for people that may not be able to afford it, okay, you can still get the best at an affordable rate
that's right.
wherever you're at, anywhere across the world. So I think that's legendary. You know what I
That's
mean? So
right. That's what we
that'll
want
be
to do, man.
huge.
You said it. We want to be the best, and we want to produce results.
Yes.
At
Yeah.
the end of the day, the program is to produce result, and the result could be better performance or better protection, less
Hmm.
injury. We got to have that. We got to protect these athletes, but at the end of the day, we still got to get them to perform, and
Hmm.
that's what
And
we're all about.
while we're on this topic too right now, we talk about the things that you're preparing for to do, you know what I'm saying, in the future, getting these video blueprints ready to go. But I love this question. This is one of my favorite questions to ask people. When you think about BMAC and who BMAC is and where BMAC is going, when we talk legacy is such a powerful and a big word. What do you want your legacy to speak for yourself when somebody looks back as to what do you want to leave? What do you want to be when somebody thinks BMAC? What are they thinking? What comes to their head?
Yeah, I want people to know that I found my purpose. And so my dad always said, man, he's like, man, find something that you want to love to do. Like when you find a
Mm.
job, find something you really love. And so it took me a while to figure that out. And then I my personal experience with my own career impacting and caring for people just meshed them together. And I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is my purpose. And so I think that's why I'm able to continue for 2+ decades to keep doing the exact same thing every single day because I found my purpose and I'm not ready to let that go yet. I still want to continue to be purposeful in what I do. Everybody has passion and things like that, but I wanted to have that purpose, and then I developed a skill set with that purpose. And then
Mm.
this is the product that you're seeing out there every day.
Yeah. I think that's so huge just to hear because if you think about it, that's what we're all trying to do. Like we're
Mm-hmm.
all essentially wanting to find our purpose in life, find our passion in life. And why I wanted to have you on the podcast, right, is because I can see that. I love talking to people that they have passion and they love what they do. Because I feel like this is a thing in the world. Like you can go to
Yeah.
a restaurant and you
Right.
have a bad experience. The food and everything may be good, but the server was not as good and she didn't give you a great experience because she didn't love what she did.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? Or you go any like that's in every
That's right.
profession, every field. So it's like to see, I can understand that. I wanted to bring you on the podcast because I know you love what you do and I know you have a
Yeah.
passion for it because I can see when the way you train people.
Yeah. Right. You
Like
felt it.
like Eman talks about it sometimes. Like when I get on the podcast, sometimes I just get in my zone and I'm like, I hit that flow state and I just get to talking and preaching.
Yeah.
But it's because I
Yep.
do love this and I love
Hmm.
what I do. So it's sometimes your mind is not even thinking about it, you're engaged in it because it's that
Yes, sir.
passion, that
That's
purpose,
right.
man. So that's
Yep.
huge.
It's
Yeah.
a release. It's a
It's a
release.
release.
And
When I get out
now,
there on the floor, it's like a release for me, man.
Yeah.
sure.
Yep.
And now for the light moments, you know what I'm saying? Because like B-Mac said, he very low key, he very lax. He when he got to lock in, he got to lock in.
Yeah.
But I got a hot five for you. You know what I'm saying? Hot five questions, quick and cool.
Hmm.
You first and foremost, you've worked with a lot of great athletes, a lot of NFL, a lot of professionals. If you could train any athlete from any era, dead or alive, who would you want to train and why?
Man, I would love to train Michael Jordan. I mean, yeah, I would
Mm.
love to be able to do that, man. Just to because, like I told you, I learned so much from Anquan Boldin's my first experience to work with a high
Hmm.
performance mentality. Can you
Yeah.
imagine? Can you
What?
imagine what MJ's
Oh
mentality
my
was?
God.
Jordan was already great, but with
You,
B-Mac,
yeah, man. What?
let
I mean, can you just imagine what it would be like to train at that level? How competitive he was. Guys
Hmm.
like that push the coach.
Yeah.
They push the coach to be better. Like, man, when I walk out there, man, I better have all this ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, and I got to make sure that everything is lined up. This is personalized, and I got to bring that passion we just talked about and
Yeah.
that production every single session for this man. You
Hmm.
talking about the GOAT?
Yeah.
So that would just make me better. It would make me better. It would challenge me,
Yeah.
to be able to train people
And
at that level. So yeah,
and
I
did
would
did
say
you
that.
so you talk about like Michael Jordan, did you I'm sure you studied a lot of Tim Grover
Mm-hmm.
and kind of his work because I know
Mm-hmm.
he's like I actually just finished his book recently and like just seeing the mindset that
The
he
mindset.
has when
That's
he
right.
attacks training, he talks about the cleaners, the coolers, and
That's
all
right.
things like that, and the type of athletes that you're dealing with. I think
That's right.
that's huge.
That's
That's
right.
huge.
I had an opportunity one time in Dallas. I got a chance to see Kobe Bryant train. It was in the All
Mm-hmm.
Star. It was an All Star game they had in Dallas, and he was injured. He had like an
Mm-hmm.
ankle or Achilles or something like that. And his trainer was
Mm-hmm.
actually a physical therapist. But they came into our facility, and we had to shut down the facility.
right.
Like
That's
nobody
Okay.
else could
understandable.
be in there. Like we had to close business operations. And I swear it looked like the FBI came in. Everything was blacked out. All the windows are blacked out. He came in with a hoodie on, and it was 6 a.m. in the morning. So when we talked about I'm up there
Woo!
early, and how I noticed because I had to open the building. So it was just me. At 5:45 a.m., I had to open that building for Kobe. And just
Wow.
to sit there and watch Kobe train. And I'm like,
Hmm.
man, everything you heard is true.
It's that
Like this
Hmm.
man
mentality.
is diligent. It's just him. He's in there sweating and grinding. An hour of training, go into the court and 500 shots.
Wow.
500, the same thing. So I'm like,
Wow.
bro, I'm seeing it live. So when he's on the court, he didn't shot that a million times.
Hmm.
That same thing. And I'm just watching him go. And then when it's time, hoodie back on him and he leaves. I mean, straight business. But I
Dog,
Wow.
studied it. And I'm like,
that's that
okay,
Mamba
that's
mentality,
that's the
baby.
Mamba
I felt
mentality.
like
That's what
when
it
you saying
looks
I felt like I was
realized.
there. I got chills. I was like, dang, I'm in here
Yes.
with Kobe right now.
Yes.
Kobe
Black
Bryant, he
Hoodie came
working.
in, two
Mm.
people, his trainer, his physical therapist, and his skill coach. Straight business. And he
Everything
Wow.
was
else shut down.
injured.
Shut it down.
He
He
was
was
injured.
injured. He was
Yeah, he was
injured.
injured. Still going. I'm like, dang, bro. Is he gonna how many times he gonna shoot that shot right there?
Exactly. Wow.
But okay, so now we talk about mentality, but we also got to think, with mentality comes spirituality and, you know what I'm saying, rituals and what people think, superstitious. Do you have any, what I want to say, rituals and or pregame or, you know what I'm saying, things you do before you get somebody in the zone? How do you get yourself in the zone?
Man, I usually start pacing. Like I've noticed, like I didn't really notice this like until recently. Like I'm trying to get ready for a training session. It's just ruminating in my mind what I'm doing. So I'm just I'm literally pacing around, walking. I'm trying to like build the energy a little bit, I think, because I
Hmm.
know in a second here I'm gonna have to go from quiet reserve to all out. You
Yeah.
Yep.
know, so I'm trying to build. I'm trying to amp. You know, and it's just step by step. And I'm thinking about what I'm gonna do. I'm role playing how it's gonna look in the head. I'm seeing myself. It's almost like visualization. I'm seeing myself coach the session, and
Hmm.
so like I'm just pacing. I'm just kind of building that energy up. So I do that almost every single session.
Wow.
And to that, my
Yeah.
part two to that question would be: have you noticed, or you know, what I'm saying, I don't know, you don't gotta bust nobody out, but what's an unusual ritual or something that somebody does that you've noticed before getting ready for a workout session?
Well, so RG is a very interesting guy, man. He's gonna have to have a certain type of music on before he gets in there. You know,
Hmm.
and he's gonna have somebody getting his vibe, get his vibe ready on his
Yeah.
hamstrings, but he's got his headphones on or he's got the music blaring and it's just he don't want to really be around people. It's just him right there. And that music's going, you can kind of see him. And he's getting amped up for the session like it's him versus the Cowboys. Or
Yeah.
him, he's getting amped up for the
Oh,
that's
it's
how
just
important
us.
the training session is to
Yeah.
him.
That's
And
a
it's
big point.
every single one of them. It's game day. And so I
Wow.
just I just study, I watch him and I say, okay, here we go.
We
Here
Wow.
locked
we
in.
go. I'm gonna have to get ready because I can tell by the eyes. I'm gonna have to be ready today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
when you're not in the gym, you're not on the field, what's a hobby or an activity that helps you recharge? Something outside of sports performance that you like to do. What's BMAC doing
Yeah,
outside?
I like listening to music. I mean, it don't matter if it's like jazz, classical, lo-fi, hip hop, reggae.
Hmm.
I'm doing some blues right there. It don't. I'll go back to Frank Sinatra. It don't. I
You
just
play
I
anything?
just
You got a
like to
little
just
instrument? You don't play no instruments?
so my son is a musician,
How about
and
that?
Wow.
so he's a euphonium player. Matter of fact, he was the number one euphonium player in the state
I
of
seen that.
Texas. Yeah,
Wow.
and so he got a full ride scholarship to Ann Arbor, Michigan. So that music is in
Wow.
there. Yeah, we
Yeah.
kind of listen to that, and that's me. I just go to my quiet place out my backyard and just play some tunes and just sit
Wow.
back and
What's
chill.
what's a good feel good song for you right now? What you listen to? What if
I,
you
I
feel
like. I'm on Bob Marley right now. I'm on some
Mm.
Bob Marley
It's like
right now.
they never
Yeah, I
go
just
wrong.
hit Bob Marley and I'm on all of yeah, Rick, yeah. So
Hey, I
I'm
used to
I'm
have a
doing that.
great Bob Marley tea that I used to drink. I used to get it from like 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
That tea was
Oh
fire.
yeah. The colors on
Bob
it.
Marley,
Yep.
that was
Yep.
fire.
So
My,
any of the
my
Marley stuff, I'm on it, man. Damian Marley, yeah. Yeah, I'm
oh
on all
yeah.
of that stuff right
My
now. So
last
That's
question for
huge.
you on the Hot Five would be: if your life was a sports documentary, what would your title be, and
mm,
what moment would be the climax?
dang. If my life was a sport.
You got a BMAC
Keep
30 for
rising.
30.
Yeah, I think it would be keep rising.
Ooh,
Yeah, so keep rising. Yep.
And why
Yeah.
keep rising?
Because we don't stay level.
Mm.
only growth, only
Yeah,
up.
we're not gonna stay level. I've been saying that all day. We're not gonna stay right here. Every single year we gotta keep, even if it's by an inch. I didn't get that much better this year. I may come back and get 10% better next year.
Come on now,
Yeah, just keep
Mhm.
rising.
Wow.
growth is everything.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And even talking about that, because I know like your mentality is keep rising, don't be satisfied, continue to work. You can always get better.
Mm.
Is there a moment, like a favorite moment or success story in working with the athlete, maybe helping them mentally or physically or seeing them reach some sort of goal that kind of stuck with you the
Breakthrough
most?
moment,
Man, there's been so many, but I kind of referenced it earlier with the Shaquem Griffin. So remember, Shaquem had one arm.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
so Shaquem had one arm, so it was a challenge coming in. It's like, oh man, I never did this before. Okay, so
Hmm.
how we gonna beat these
Yeah.
tests? And then we go out there, man, and we break the 40 record. He's still got the
Yes.
fastest 40-yard dash time for a linebacker at 4.38.
Man,
We bench press. We bench press. I mean, when he was benching, it was the number one trending topic in the entire world
as
on
he had
Twitter.
the claw
Yeah,
arm
yeah, he
on, he
hit the
was
one
going
arm. Yeah.
crazy.
So the title was one arm athlete bench presses at the combine. And so
Wow.
we just went crazy that year. And I can tell you from that moment on, when we got that much limelight, our program took off.
Mm.
It took off. And so we were on a big stage and a big moment, and we just delivered
Capitalize.
at a high level.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome, B Mac. Man,
Yep,
it
sir.
was it was so good having you on. Like, I think everything that we kind of talked about today is like you're the epitome of like that motivation sports. Like, if we want to get any of that, you were the perfect person to have on this podcast.
Appreciate
We've
that.
been doing this for 30 days straight, man, and you're
Mhm.
definitely one of the best that we've had on here. Everyone has been good, but especially when it comes to the sports, mentality, things like that, man, we're definitely loved having you on here for sure, man. So
I
we
appreciate
appreciate
you
we had
guys,
B-Man.
man.
Gotta stay unfazed with Bmac.
You
Gotta
know
stay
it.
unfazed with Bmac.
Glad to see you guys doing your thing, man. Proud
No,
of
for
y'all,
sure.
man.
And
Proud
before
of y'all, man.
before we
100%.
slide about that
And
thing,
and definitely.
say Phase, if you want to take it away, you know I got it because I gotta hear
Oh,
his
I got
moment.
it.
I gotta
Yeah,
hear
no,
his
I always,
moment.
I always got it. I'll never leave without it.
Now,
VMAC, one thing we ask all of our people is with everything going on in the world right now. I know you're in it right now with the NFL guys and everything. Life may happen, you know what I mean? Something with family may happen, the world, outside, politics, all this stuff, man. How do you continue to stay unfazed?
Yeah.
kill the music.
I think you hug your people, man. Hug your people that are around you. Yeah, hug your people that are around you, man. And I think your people keep your comfort, keep you tight and keep you grounded. That's it.
It's as
You
simple as
gotta
that,
like
man.
it.
Hug
You
your
don't need
people,
too much
keep
when
you
you already
tight.
gave it to them.
You don't.
Get in
You
there, get
don't.
out,
You
hug your
don't.
people, share the love.
Share
A
love a
little
little bit.
hug goes a
Yes.
long way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do that.
Yeah,
Now support
100%.
system is key.
Mm-hmm.
Sports
Hug
key.
your
Well,
people.
we had Mr. B-Mac on with us today on day 10 of the 30-day unfazed. Couldn't have anybody better on day 10. I appreciate you, B-Mac. Let's do it, man. Stay unfazed, everybody.
I'm unfazed, yeah.